panel is going to be honestly very, very interesting, because what we try and do is to achieve our objective of trying to bring global perspective of what's happening in HR in the current scenario. So we all used to read at least a lot of information on Google and whatever else earlier, but right now almost everything has changed, and HR has been thrust upon this kind of a role where they have a very difficult and challenging role to play right now. While we wait for our great panel to come in from Indonesia in the east to Jordan in the west, from the Philippines as well, and Mr. Emmanuel as well as here. What I would like to do, instead of me starting to talk about each one of you, I just want to take 1 minute to say thank you very much to especially Mr. Darwin Rivers for being on board. I never had an opportunity to speak to you personally earlier, so appreciate you being here. We'll try and see connect with Helen as well. And I'm going to hand this over to Ms. Helen Lobo. She is the Director of Impact Global to take it forward. In the meantime, I think these are very interesting times that we live in, very challenging as well. And you guys are playing a fantastic role in trying to talk about the HR as a role. There I can see Helen very well.
Hello.
Hi. Can I just request you to take this forward, Helen?
Yes, please. Thank you so much. I can't see my panelists. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Hi, Darwin. Lovely to see you. Hi, Ashish.
Hi.
Lovely to see you. Hi, Ashish. Fantastic. Awesome. I can see one at a time. So, first of all, a very, very warm welcome to our wonderful audience. They've been extremely, extremely supportive, cheering us on, amazing feedback, being very patient with all the little technical hiccups that we've had. Warm welcome to my panelists today. So we have put together this wonderful panel of global HR community leaders and practitioners who are working tirelessly in furthering the agenda of HR locally as well as globally. And I've worked with each one of you so closely. I know you'll burn the midnight oil along with me, 1, 2 in the morning. Ashish, both the Ashishes on the panel, interacting with each of you. So just to give you a brief about each of these, let me introduce you up to our panelists. Ashish Gapre, founder and president of HR Shapers. He also serves as a program manager at Capgemini. Ashish Banka, founder of HR Sampark and people leader manager at Compass Group. Rajesh Chandwani, chairperson of AHRD and faculty of IIM Ahmedabad. Dr. Ankita Singh and Vikas Vyas unfortunately could not join us. Ankita's had a medical emergency, so let's uphold her family in prayer. Darwin Rivers, coming all the way from the Philippines, founder and president of Philippine HR Group. Emmanuel Zavada, all the way from Zimbabwe. So we've got a very great diverse panel. He's the general manager and group HR manager of CoverLink Micro Insurance Limited. Buland Rani, head of HR and general administration of Toko Talk from the Philippines. Radar Raut, managing partner at Midad Consulting, all the way from Jordan. Dolphy Gobies from Indonesia, head of global HR operations with Good Hope Asia Holdings Limited. So welcome, lovely panel. It's great to see you. I'm unable to see all of you, so I'm not able to see all on the screen. So anyway, so happy to see all of you. I would like to hand over the floor to you, each one of you. So Ashish, would you like to go first? and give a brief introduction about yourself and what is it that you do and how did you come about with HR Shapers?
Thanks. You can hear me?
I can.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Thanks God you said HR Shaper. Otherwise, I could have been asking, whether it's Ashish Banka or it's Ashish Gatre.
Right.
Okay, great. So thanks for giving opportunity. Wonderful show I've been seeing since last 4 days. One more days to go, almost 2 days. Okay, so yeah, I'm representing HR Shaper, which is 4 years old, 6-year-old non-profit body based in Mumbai, but having presence in almost 50 location of 25 countries. We are there in each and every location of India, in addition to all the global major location, to some extent minor location. I can see many of the HR Shaper are here. Anybody who is in HR is HR Shaper. That's what I can say. I don't need to say that officially HR Shaper or unofficially. Yeah, and we keep having a meeting, get together. In COVID season, we are doing a lot of webinar meeting, virtual meeting, and all. So yeah, it's one of the body which is growing well along with others. So I mean that's what I can say in the short.
Excellent. Thanks, Ashish. So over to Ashish Banka now. Ashish, would you like to come in?
Yeah, namaste everybody, and thank you so much, Helen, for this wonderful event which is happening and getting a great reviews. I'm so proud to be part of associated with this. I'm Ashish Banka. Namaste from India to all my fellow HR panelists from across the globe. I represent HR Sampark. HR Sampark was founded 3 years back in Kolkata. We got registered as a trust last year. We have a chapter presence in 4 cities in India, over 400 people. The idea of HR Sampark was just to connect with people, engagement, and that's very important in HR front. And we call ourselves Mango People Group, so we do not have any hierarchical differences. People are there, they enjoy, they learn. The 2 parameters which we focus is one on student development, and the second is knowledge sharing amongst HR professionals. So that's what our core pillar is, and we are taking it forward, growing, and I always believe the number of HR groups we are increasing day by day. The most importantly is that we collaborate, and this is the new normal, which I believe. So the more we collaborate, the more we grow, and that's the power of unity and togetherness. And that's what we are here representing, each of us in each country. And I hope we all are partners and we learn from each other. Thank you so much, Helen.
Fantastic. That's amazing, because you touched upon something which you said is collaboration. I think that's extremely important, because you'll have got so many of you pan-India, and I think collaboration is the way forward to help the HR as a profession. Fantastic, Ashish. Good job. Let's bring in Rajesh Chandwani. Rajesh, if you're there.
Yeah, thank you, Helen, and thank you for inviting me, and proud to be part of this summit. My name is Rajesh Chandwani, and I work in IIM Ahmedabad as a faculty in the HR area. I have been trained as a pediatrician, so 14 years of my life I have worked as a pediatrician. So not basically trained in HR per se, but later on I picked up HR when I did my PhD from IIM Bangalore. My focus is on largely on healthcare services, but I also work on small and medium enterprises in India. They employ 80% of our population is employed with small and medium enterprises, and there are several issues with HR issues with respect to healthcare system in India, which we know in the recent COVID times. So that is what I work on.
Excellent, fantastic, great transition, Rajesh, from healthcare to HR. You've kept the H in it. You've kept the human in it. Fantastic, good job. Okay, we'll now bring in Radha Raut. Radha, take it away.
Hi. Actually, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon.
Hello, lovely to see you, Radha. I couldn't see you on the screen. I'm seeing you now. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Helen?
Fantastic. Please take it away.
Thank you for inviting me to this summit and being part of this panel. It's really an honor for me. And my name is Rada Lahroud from Jordan, and I'm an HR professional for more than 18 years, both in organization as head of HR and as consultant. So I've been in both sides of the equation of HR profession. Actually, during the COVID-19, my focus was on empowering HR leaders to really take the proper actions, be true partners in this tough time for their organizations and their people, and really understand the needs of their teams and their people, and how to really engage them in this distance work and in this tough time. So in the past months, that was really my area of focus, and my publications were all around that. So I'm really happy to be here to share more about all of this.
Excellent, excellent. Great job reaching out to the community, helping them at post-COVID times. Absolutely fantastic. Very good. Good job, Rada. Let us now bring in Emmanuel Zavada from all the way from Zimbabwe.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful event. My name is Emmanuel Zavada. I'm the General Manager for Cavalling Microinsurance, as well as the Head HR of Cavalling Microinsurance. Apart from that, I'm also the Chief Advisor and Disruptor for Third Eye Africa Consulting Group. I'm also a guest columnist for Newsday, specifically focusing on the HR articles, delivering as well as giving insights on HR articles in Zimbabwe. I'm also I also run shows in South Africa, 1873 radio shows, with my HR Dosaic show, which happens every Thursday. Also the expert contributor for Thriving Magazine. Proud to say that I'm also in HR Shaper representing Africa, Zimbabwe. So thanks to Ashish. The main reason for me being here, maybe this side in Africa, for being an advisor, is that I'm local here in Zimbabwe, but I also have a global foot. I've got companies that I do consulting in Nigeria, companies that I do consulting in South Africa, as well as Tanzania. So I'm proud to be part of this panel because we learned a lot, and being local, I'm proud being black among all of you. It's not about race or color, but it's about who you are and what contribution you have done in the field of HR. We talk of globalization. We are local, but we think global.
Fantastic, awesome. I think HR is a global community. We shouldn't be thinking in silos anymore, because HR is the heart of every organization. HR is the heart of our homes as well. So great job there. Good thinking, Emmanuel. HR global, fantastic. Let's bring in Darwin from the Philippines. Darwin,
hi, Helen. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, thank you, Impact Global for inviting me to be part of this panel. And also, Helen, thank you because you've been with me during one of my most challenging times, and you know that. Thank you for being there also. My name is Darwin Rivers, and I'm currently working as a country HR and admin director of a multi-site BPO company here in the Philippines. I'm the founder and president of the Philippines HR Group, the largest online community of HR and HR-aligned professionals here in the Philippines. We have over 125,000 members to date. So we're not only an online community, we're actually a registered organization, a non-government, non-stock, not-for-profit organization here in the Philippines. And what we do is we provide cost-effective yet high-value trainings programs for the community. And we've been doing this since 2016. I also lead a radio program here in the Philippines for HR. It's called HR Cafe. So that's what I'm doing.
Awesome, fantastic. Great membership out there. Lots to add in terms of giving them value. And I think we'll touch upon it later in the day, in a few minutes from now, okay? So thank you, Darwin. That's amazing. Good job. Let's bring in Bulan from Indonesia.
Hello, Helen.
Hey,
How are
hi,
you?
Bulan.
Thank
Lovely
you
to
so
see
much,
you.
finally.
You're welcome.
And hello,
Yes.
all my friends here. It's very great to see you here. So, I'm Mulan. I've been falling in love with the HR world because my mom was also an HR before. So, since high school, I already fall in love about how she handled and she talked about human life. So, it's really touched my life. And here I am, 20 years later on. I'm now head of HR and GA at Tokotok. A website builder e-commerce in Indonesia. We just very young, we just like 2 years, but most of my experience is in retail and also digital industry. And beside, of course, I'm a member of the HR Shapers. So hi to Dolphy and also Ashish there. So hope we can have like a very nice conversation and we can learn together here. And also I lead some HR and business group discussion also in WhatsApp and also in a Facebook platform. On a Facebook platform, I have 36,000 members, which came from the advertising industry. So it's quite a huge group, and it's really a lot of things that we're facing, that we deal with the situation right now. You know, the business and the recession is starting happens in another country also. So we are really trying to prepare ourselves better on how to face it together as a friends and also as a people who like professionally work, and how us as a practitioner can help each other for better future, of course, for everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Awesome, fantastic. So you started sowing the seed of HR very early in life, Bulan. That's fantastic.
Yes.
And your mother has been a great inspiration. So big thumbs up to her. So now let's bring in Dolphy. Dolphy from Indonesia. Hi, Dolphy. Lovely to see you.
Hi, Helen. Okay. Selamat siang. I should say good afternoon. I think
good
only
afternoon
Ulan will respond to me. I know most of Ulan as well as Ashish, because me and Ashish know for almost now, I think nearly 20 years, Ashish, right? Yes.
You need
my
to
name
specify
is
which Ashish. We've got two on the panel. It's Gakre,
oh,
right?
Ashish Gakre, yes. My name is Dolphy. I've been in Indonesia for the last 8 years, and I had the HR for Good Hope Asia Holdings. We are a plantation company, and I'm also core group member for HR Shapers Indonesia. So me and Ashish work together. I worked in different countries: India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Philippines, and now in Indonesia. So varied experience in working in different countries, and that's it.
Awesome, fantastic, excellent. We'll have lots of many questions for you, Dolphy, as we go along. So now, just open to the panel. Let us start with Ashish Banka. Ashish, tell me what are HR practices within our country in India, and how are you all managing post-COVID pandemic, whether it's your organization or whether it's through your members, through your groups? How are you all influencing others to manage post-COVID times?
Okay, thanks, Kiran, for that question. So, since HR has a lot of departments and industry-wise, post-COVID, some industries have seen a surge and some have seen really a meltdown. So, the organizations are taking a stand based on their present scenario. I will talk about specifically two aspects which most of the organizations have done, because this is unprecedented, unheard, unexperienced. So as HR practitioners, it feels like we are scientists because we can do a lot of experiments and taking this forward. And also it gives us importance that, we can prepare for the worst, which we never thought of also. So even our thought process boundaries have been extended. Most important aspect which organizations are been taking now is medical. Because medical is one important portfolio which management and organizations are really keen, because earlier in India there were two aspects. One, people who earn a certain amount are under medical coverage of the government, which is called ESIC, and some other people were part of group medical policy. So we have seen that during this pandemic, the people who were there in ESIC, were also not getting the right kind of treatment, and there was a lot of unrest amongst the employees. So what management have done, most of the organizations have, irrespective of the ESIC coverage, they have brought everybody to a group medical policy so that everybody is treated equal. There is no discrimination when it comes to the health of the employees. Second aspect which HR has been keen is safety and security. Temperature checks, giving them immunity boosters, and most importantly, giving them periodical breaks. If we find any symptom of any kind of ailment in the body, a 3-day mandatory rest is being given to all the employees so that they cannot be, diminish any kind of community spread if we have any. And the third important aspect which we have been practicing is in terms of recruitment. So the physical connect with the candidates have reduced. We have moved to digitalization, and it has been accelerated due to this. Everybody was planning, but this has been forcefully accelerated, and we welcome that digitalization aspect. So most of the candidate onboarding interview process has been done online, and we all know work from home is the new normal or the new abnormal, we don't know. But work from home has really changed our lives. On a lighter note, some were saying that divorces have increased due to work from home, but I'm not sure about that. So, taking that on a serious note, that work from home has really the new normal where we are trying to adapt. So the leave policy has been amended, that is one. And second aspect is that there has been an allowance which most of the companies have given to set up work place at home, which is over and above their salary, so that they get the right internet, right facilities, right IT assets, and that company is ready to shell out. Apart from that, over the due course of time, the companies will learn in terms of aligning themselves to the new normal, the work from home, the digitalization. But these are the 4 or 5 things importantly with all the organizations are focusing and aligning themselves to the requirement. Thank you.
Excellent, great thoughts there. Great thoughts, Ashish. Let me rope in Rajesh. Rajesh, would you like to come in and share some thoughts on what HR practices in the country? How are you all managing post-COVID times for your members or within your IIM Ahmedabad faculty, students? Rajesh, you want to come in?
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Ashish ji, for giving the HR's perspective. Many times what we look at is that what do HR people consider employees? So if we take a look at, and what do we manage eventually as leaders, as HR managers? So largely the discourse rotates around how to make HR more strategic, how to make HR get more profit, get the business sense. So whether we see Dave Ulrich's recent model or any other model which talks about employees and HR relationships, most of the people talk about getting HR learn the business. That is definitely one of the important things, but the missing piece in the HR discourse has been what is an individual. So in our Indian discourses, individual is not only physical, it is much beyond the physical body. So we call it, the physical is called the Annamay Kosh, which is made from the food. But there are 4 other layers of individual which are not related to the food and the physical body, and they are related to the mental and emotional aspects. These are the aspects which HR has largely neglected, and these come up to the fore when there is stress, when there is other aspects which are not routine in organizations. Let me give you an example. When I was talking to most of the organizations, the MSMEs, or even the large organizations, what are the employees thinking? So there was a migration issue in India. You all have heard about it in the television.
True.
People have migrated back. They are not coming back, or they are coming back and not joining. So there are, even after the unlock, there has been huge issue. So I have interviewed around 200 MSME owners and many hospital owners. What they tell is a very interesting thing, that the time is to manage employee emotions. And that is a thing which has been neglected in HR for a long time. What are emotions? Emotions, if you see, there are many, but there are three basic emotions which talk about humankind. One being fear, one being anger.
Rajesh, can I just interrupt you there? We are going to touch upon this later. I'm going to be talking about the HR practices right now. We'll just stick to that for now, and then we'll continue later because I want to give all of the panelists a chance, and then we'll come back. All right? So let us introduce.
The third is,
go ahead.
Is love. I think how to manage these emotions is what HR practices should learn about.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rajesh. Okay, let's bring in Emmanuel. Emmanuel, give us your take on HR practices in Zimbabwe. What are you doing post-COVID times? How are you helping the community?
Thank you. First of all, as HR practitioners here in Zimbabwe and all of us, we have to know that apart from being HR practitioners, we are also prone to be affected by the pandemic, which is COVID-19. So whatever practice we implemented or whatever practice we are going to implement, we made sure that we are also part of it. One thing that we make sure that we did is ensuring that there is a proper and continuous inflow of information. Normally during a pandemic, there is grapevine information where a lot of people will say, this comes from that, this comes from that. So there have to be a smooth flow of information to avoid false and gossiping. Also, policies and practices have to be readjusted because this is now the 5th month, and obviously if it's the 5th month, leave policies have to change. Policies to do with training and development has to change. Now we are talking of Zoom training. Policies to do with remuneration has to change. How can we remunerate employees while we are in a pandemic? Also, we talk of remote work. A lot of people, a lot of companies here, they are working from home. Though the only challenge is that we have, or the only question that I have to some of the employers is, are we capacitating our employees to work from home, or we are just letting them working from home? Lastly, let's make sure we are making sure that we are providing enough technology. We are making sure that we are giving them enough tools so that they will work remotely, because when someone is working remotely, failure to capacitate them, productivity is going to suffer. So I think this is one of the things that we are doing during the COVID-19. But maybe to say this, that normally to many employees, a real character of leaders, a real character of HR practitioners, they are revealed during a crisis, because we find that to some companies, there are some companies that has already started retrenching. Maybe they didn't have some reserves, but to some companies, they still have their employees as a family, trying to collaborate and talk to each other so that they find proper measures to get themselves together. Thank you.
Thanks, Emmanuel. Thanks for that lovely input. Let's bring in Darwin now from the Philippines. Darwin, what are you doing about how are HR practices within Philippines? What are you doing post-COVID as an organization and as a group? Darwin, do you want to step in?
Yeah. Hi, Helen.
You could just take 1 minute, Darwin, so that we can all get a chance to step in. All right. So just go ahead.
Sure. Hi, Helen. Hi, everyone. So during the start of this pandemic, we just realized that we need to ask our members what are their top HR issues. And with this survey, the data comes in that the top issues in HR in the Philippines is, for HR, it's health and wellness, managed report work, jobs and job continuity, and then mental health and uncertainty. Now, we've also asked our employees what are their top 4 concerns. And their top 4 concerns is financial security, health and well-being, family, and productivity. So what did we learn from all of these? We've learned that we need to focus more on people first before economics. So economics is second. We need to develop rapid response teams that cross organizational boundaries. We need to make sure that we distribute authority to remote HR professionals, because there are, it should be centered in the headquarters, but there should be independence or autonomy for those HR in different regions. We need to create real-time data in collecting and identifying precisely what are the issues and how can we respond to them.
Fantastic. You're on time. Fantastic. You get brownie points for that, Darwin. A great point there that you made. People first, always, always. Any organization, it's built upon people. And if you don't have if you don't keep them engaged, if you don't keep them happy, if you're not empathizing with them in their times of need, then you don't have an organization, a healthy organization. Great points there, Darwin. Fantastic. So let's bring in Ashish Gakre. Ashish, do you want to step in? Ashish Gakre.
Ashish, unmute.
Yeah, you can hear me now, right?
We can hear you now. Ashish, 1
Yes,
minute for you to answer that.
Okay, great. So most of you touch upon, but I would say in such kind of situation, one has to be secure in terms of family and financial, what Darwin just mentioned, which is very, very much important. Okay, and then how the workforce and the employer is going to take care, perhaps taking care and post COVID, which is, how to manage a workforce virtually, because everybody is working from home. And the other set of people, those who are not working, and if they are being asked to work, or they are working, because not many can work from home, so how to protect workforce which is coming to the organization in the premises. So take care of all the safety parameter and all. Yeah, I don't want to get into detail, but we all know what are those. Prepare an ecosystem for a gig workforce, because coming time it is happening right now that there are many people who are actually working as a gig. Okay, it may not be by designation, but we are acting as a gig and all. Yeah. Create a mindset, training, logistic infrastructure of the technology kind of thing, everything is going to be technology. Every company today is kind of technology. So we need to ensure that we are thinking from technology, everything, like, yeah, teach employee to take care of themselves. That's what I would say. It's individual responsibility. Many of us are saying that it's not individual responsibility.
No, it is.
It is individual responsibility. You need to be self-disciplined end of the day. Yeah. That's what I can sum up. And
Absolutely.
the financial and family security, that's what I said, that's more important because, in India, Helen, there are very less layoff happen as compared to world. Okay. Employer is taking care of with 50% salary. So yes, it is where, employer is also in a good position.
True. Fantastic. Great points there, Ashish. Create an ecosystem, mindset, individual responsibility, I think is very, very important and crucial, because the organization as a whole, as leadership, you can only do that much. But I think each one needs to take that ownership when you're part of an organization. Very valid points there. Fantastic. For the rest of the panel, have you all got anything different from what is covered? So if you do, please step in and let's gather some more inputs there. So who would like to come in?
If you allow me.
Yes, Radha, go ahead.
Actually, there is a point which I want to emphasize on, which is the survival of the organization. And this is the core thing for anything to continue. So as HR, we need to step out of our operations and checklists and processes and start to be part of the real change inside the organization and making it survive and thrive through this tough time. And sometimes it needs tough decisions and taking not only tough decisions, sometimes you need to really step out of your way of being to really meet the organizational needs at this time. And this is the core. We need to stop being the operational gurus and start to really be supportive to the organization. It's not the time for making sure that the checklists are in place. It's time to make sure that the organization is working, and that will need shift in operating models, shift in the way we are working, shift in the organization, and shift in the pay and the way, and even the products, and upskilling the people for the future, not the future actually, for the current. So it's there is a big thing beside not only remote work and all of that. It's operational shift, it's organizational shift, and big mind shift inside the organization and in the market.
Absolutely. You rightly said that. I think HR as a function needs to move and shift gears from operational. I think world over, we are having this issue of HR being a functional, a functional department rather than having a voice in the boardroom. So I think amazing, very, very good, valid point there. Anybody else wants to step in with anything other than what is not touched upon? Go ahead.
Ellen, I would like to add, yes, one point, maybe 1 minute. I will.
Sure,
There are
go ahead.
two things. One, the government did was very good. Until anybody who's drawing $15,000 salary, they waived off their tax.
Which government?
The Indonesian government.
Okay, okay.
As an organization, I think we were very careful. We took a step saying preserving cash is very important. So we relooked entire budgets, and we said, okay, what is important? We have 15,000 people working for us. So we don't want to cut salaries. So where do we cut? Somewhere else, okay? So which is not required, which is good to have, we just said, okay, we will not do it. And we basically came out a situation, what happens, our business comes down, how do we manage? Okay, if the business comes down to 50%, can we still pay a salary or cannot pay? So this kind of steps were taken. And I think the entire organization, including 15,000 employees, were open for the ideas and they were ready to support the organization.
Fantastic. You were inclusive. Amazing, amazing. Very, very good. I think any organization that is inclusive is definitely a success. So you'll have got a great going there. Fantastic. Anybody else that wants to step in with any other ideas?
I add maybe similar to Dolphy, because we share the Indonesian market is quite big, the numbers of the company and also the islands that we have a lot, so numbers of employees that now facing the recession, which might happen also to us. We have to be very honest on that. I think everybody agree that at some point, some HR still, previously still not focused as the business partner, but they are acting more as an operation people who works on daily administration. But nowadays, with the current situation, I believe that everybody in HR should be step up and improve the way they manage the team, their knowledge also. We need to enrich our knowledge from time to time, because our focus is not only the business, how we survive as a partner of the organization to keep up ourselves on updating the business continuity plan for the whole organization, but also our focus is also all the employees who work with us, how we can survive together and facing this difficult situation as a team, and also make sure that when the company survive, of course the employees also survive.
Absolutely,
I think that's I need to help. Thank you.
Very true. Fantastic. Thanks, Fulan. I think we'll get on to the next question that I'd like to ask the panel is, HR is being thrust upon this very, very crucial task of reducing task force, right? Reducing workforce, and yet being able to improve productivity. How are you all managing that within your organizations? How are you all empowering other HR members within your communities to kind of face these challenges, within their workforce? So, Ashish Gakre, go ahead. I can't hear you. Unmute.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
So very good question. I don't know whether each one of us has an answer or not, because it's not in our control. Yeah.
That's okay.
It's mostly
but
in the.
It's important for
yes.
HR to kind of come up with solutions, helping the organization to kind of. You're on a tight spot. So how do you all kind of wriggle your way out?
Yeah. So some of the point, if we heard just some time back, from Radha and then Bulan touch upon, Dolphy touch upon. See, perhaps I'm not sure whether HR can get into, but leadership team get into the adaptability, the change the thought process so that more business can come from many angles. Okay, we have seen people who are changing their business model. Okay. There are many companies who actually got into the healthcare and pharmaceutical. Some companies, they are just making even masks and making money like anything. This is just one example. Yeah, this is just one example. There are many things happening. People have gotten to essential services business so that they can make the money. There's just simple example which is more from layman point of view. But there are various. look at the industry which is booming right now is the LMS industry. Can you believe the LMS and the HRMS company getting so many calls? Guys, please come and do something for us because we also need automation. So there are various area where company can get into. If you are in one business, it doesn't mean you stick to that. If you are in some business which is kind of, getting more business, skill up skill like what we talk about, which is very much important. Okay, don't lay up, don't throw the people. People are there to work. This time, people don't have option. To be very frank, that's also true. So they will be there. You can reduce the salary, no increment, no promotion. That can be done. Okay, but provide some kind of work. We can't talk about career growth and all this, but yes, as long as they are getting some work, they are getting some hope that they are taken care financially well. So I can sum up and let's hear from others also now.
Excellent. Yes, thank you so much. Thinking out of the box, that's fantastic. I think businesses should be thinking out of the box right now, especially in these post-COVID times, to sustain their businesses, especially SMEs and MSMEs. Okay, so let's get Banka in. Banka, Ashish, you want to step in and cover anything that you might want to add?
So the point which AG mentioned was more of in terms of which organizations are trying to remold and re-identify themselves and reinvent the line of business. But that cannot be, practical for all the organizations and the SMEs which are there in India. So most of the organizations, I represent hospitality, which has taken a lot of hit in terms of this COVID. So what we have taken, we have opted for a 3C model, which is connect, communication, and conduct. So connect, communication, and conduct is a model for the organization. So one is that we need to go back to the employees who are being, a part of this restructuring model, that because of your sacrifice, the larger company stays. So that is one kind of human touch which we need to do. We need to really bring the human out of HR now, and this is a very difficult task because some sacrifices will lead to the organization stability. That is one. Second, giving them a good, communication channel and to express themselves. Sometimes we try to impose our decisions on the employees, which is not correct. See, everybody comes with, an empty brain and an empty stomach. Nobody leaves that behind and comes to the workplace. And the second important part is taking care of them. It's like, we have a life insurance product in India, which is called LIC, which says with life, after life.
Sure.
So the same principle which we follow.
I want you to touch upon how are you all working towards the job of reducing a task force. I mean, are you all entrusted about that?
So what we are doing, so we are taking the performance has been the criteria for this reduction. We cannot take loss of business. The people who had been rated in the rating scale last year on a lower, they have been picked up first. They have been communicated so that it seems a fair, goodwill of the company, that we are doing it rationally and not giving to a cherry pick situation. Then we are picking up the businesses, line of business which are not even working. So we have a substantial decision to go back and tell that your business is not working. Look guys, you need to support us, and this line of business we are reducing the employees. And the third angle which we are taking is multitasking. If some roles we can overlap with each other, other roles becomes redundant and we can have an easy way out for them. These are the three mechanisms which we are taking first to reduce the headcount.
Very good. Some great takeaways for the audience. Amazing ideas, Ashish. I like the fact that you said connect, communicate, and conduct. Fantastic. Very good. Anybody else wants to step in? Radha, what about you?
For headcount reduction and these tough decisions, actually we had, I'm not currently working in organization, I'm more in the consulting. Yeah, so it's more of giving some guidance and support organization in this regard. And we started with a gradual process. Before the hit of the COVID in March, we started with ideas of allowances reductions, freezing hires, and all of that. These are the common actions that people start doing. But we started it a bit before the hit, because it was anticipated to happen. Then we started working more in towards the time sharing, the concept of instead of laying off employees, just go with time sharing. Start with, as Dolphy was mentioning, that we start with the top executive sharing the hit, the biggest hit, instead of going with your lower staff. And thank God the situation in Jordan is not that hard, because the government was really successful in containing the disease. So we don't have cases inside the country, but the issue is now with the economy. So the airports closed, and we have, you know, this, we are closed almost from all over the world to protect the country. So some industries like the airline and the hospitality are impacted, but the others are recovering. We can see that lots of other sectors are recovering. I hope, but before the end of the year, things will be back to better than normal. But the actions where they start taking actions, many of the companies before the real hit started, with the clever reduction in salaries so as not to reach the layoff time.
Sure. Now you're consulting many organizations, Radha. I have a question for you. Are companies using COVID as an excuse to reduce their workforce and get rid of them? Because it's typical, you know, organizations use this as an excuse. And are they doing that? Is that...
Actually, I didn't see lots of layoffs, honestly, except in some of the airline sectors, because they were really impacted big time. But for the other sectors, the government is putting lots of restrictions, so they cannot just lay off people. But for the salary reduction, some of the organizations, they were taking it as excuse. Even the ones who have, some of them, they have, their business was not impacted big time, they found it as an excuse to reduce in some cases. So that was some of the places where people were manipulating the situation.
Wonderful. I think in a country like India, we can't have that mandate by the government to say you can't reduce, because we're talking 1.5 billion people. But
they have to provide clear evidence of impact on organization.
Okay, fantastic, great job. Okay, let's bring in Emmanuel. Emmanuel, what is your take on it? Are you all put on the spot, and how are you all managing it?
Thank you so much. I think my situation is just the same, like rather that we were faced with the economic downturn, and the COVID now came in. So we are fighting two battles, the economy as well as the COVID-19. But obviously, there are some companies that are taking advantage of the COVID-19 to lay off employees, though I'm pretty sure that litigations will face them in the near future. Also, to note is that many African countries, they are still lagging in terms of artificial intelligence as well as technology. So I think it came on the right time. Of course, it's a disadvantage to many, but it's also an advantage because we see that all the companies are now embracing technology. If I was going to call this year, I was going to call this year the Zoom year, because everyone is on Zoom, meetings are being done on Zoom, everything. So we find that many employees are continuously learning and being embraced to adaptability. There is no time for artificial intelligence to come. This is the right time. Also, of note, in my country, we have seen that salaries has been cut, but not only cut, it has been cut after agreeing, because the situation is affecting the employers. It is also affecting the employees. It's an act of God. No one applied for the pandemic. So I think the situation where the employers and the employees will sit down, HR being they go between the two parties. So I think that's all what I think.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Okay, we're running short of time and we want to be on time over here. So I think we have quite a few questions to ask. So let me then ask our panel about, you know, we want to talk about upskilling employees, but prior to that, I think we want to touch upon how are we kind of being engaged with our employees or members, for example, and creating a support system for them? Do you have that in place within your organization? For example, a counselor for somebody, you know, working from home is not easy. You know, not many people live in big homes, for example. They live in small homes. Not people have all the best of gadgets to be online with their bosses. You know, and there are lots of different challenges being faced right across different sectors. So what kind of support are you providing? Any support for your employees? Is there anything in place? Let's hear Dolphy.
Yes. For me,
30 seconds, Dolphy. In 30 seconds, let's wrap it up. Very, very quick points. And what are you all doing to kind of create that support system for your employees or for your members, for that matter?
For me, it's only 1% of the people who work from home. Rest all, because we are all plantation based. Everybody is based at the plantation. So even for that 1%, we made sure, yes, I think Ulan knows in Jakarta, everybody has small houses. It's not big houses. So, and then mostly people stay in joint families. So we kept our office open, as well as for everybody, laptops were provided, so that as well as the connection was provided. So both these were provided so that they could work from home, and there was no fixed time. You are allowed to come to office anytime, you finish your work and go. So today I'm sitting in an office, so you can come anytime and go. So that kind of opportunity is provided. And also we made sure that, okay, if somebody needs a counseling, of course we have our own doctors. So doctors were always put on work, because we have each location has a doctor as well as a hospital. So those kind of facilities have been provided to make sure that we support our employees, family members, and everybody, and even the community.
Wonderful. Excellent. Excellent. Darwin, what about you? Do you want to come in quickly? 30 seconds. Let me know if there is a system in place, a support system in place. Darwin? Is Darwin on mute?
Yeah, Darwin, you are on mute.
Yeah. Hi, hello, hi everyone. So here in the Philippines, we call our HR professionals as corporate frontliners. So what we do is we make sure that we engage our employees, because right now, as you've known, the Philippines has just entered into the highest recession that we've had over the past decades. And we have a lot of issues in terms of employment. So what we're doing is we need to properly communicate them to our employees. What is the government doing? We need to partner with the government and make sure that we have one strong voice and clear communication on what the government is doing, what the private sector is doing to help those employees that are in need. So we've done a lot of things, work rotation, work from home, cutting salaries, but end of the day, it's really support and engaging them to make sure that the employees know that HR is there to always support them. I think that's the real essence of who we are. Our job is to have our employees know that HR is the heart of the organization. You can always come to us for all the issues and problems.
Excellent. That's a great support system there. What about Bulan? Do you want to add anything there?
Okay.
30 seconds, Bulan. We're running short of time.
Yeah, sure. So maybe my organization is quite different with the others, that, you know, part of the services that we give is helping like small seller to survive. So teach them how to survive, especially like moving their business from offline, which is all the stores closed, to the online platform. So that's part of the job from our company that do from time to time. So in terms of the business, we don't have any like a huge impact, because like we keep the, seems like Dolphy, we keep the office open, and seems like everybody still want to get work together as a team here at the office. So sometimes what we really want to focus is for them who feels not really healthy, we will monitor closely to show that if you're not really healthy, don't come to the office, because all of the employees here, so you have to manage that. And also if they are pregnant or they have, you know, a family that's like a quite old, that it's like a quite, you know, difficult, and it will be hard for them if then there's an effect because they come to the office. We keep monitor them closely and advise them and ask them whether this is like the right choice for them to come to the office. So that's the way we support, because it's difficult to stop people who wants to come to the office from time to time. So we keep it open.
You're
like
empowering them to make a choice. Fantastic. Very, very good. Excellent. So let's move on. We've got a couple of questions that we want to wrap up very quickly with. So let's bring in Gakre. Ashish.
Yes.
What are the 3 priorities for your HR association in the coming months? Any 3 priorities that you have set?
Okay, so in today's scenario, I don't think so. It's easy and difficult. It's easy to set the priorities. You need to go with the flow. That's what I would say. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's be realistic. But yeah, as far as all the HR body have a common objective that members should meet, members should have dialogue, that should share industry best practices and all this. And I'm talking about HR Shaper is more on worldwide basis. Second priority which I will continue doing is HR Shaper should not make any money, okay, but can help others to make the money as long as you don't use member and blackmail member. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
The third one is obviously spread out the network with the help of others, any HR guy. Okay.
Of course.
And create, nurture more leader in the industry so that they can also create more further.
But Ashish, your group is global. You've got chapters everywhere. Are you using that platform to kind of serve the community other than knowledge sharing? For example, wellness drives. For example, any support system. Any of that, is that your mandate, or do you just kind of have invite people, share knowledge? Because there's tons of knowledge out there. It's good, but are you touching upon the real issues, which really hit hard for any HR professional? For example, so many of them are jobless today. Are you kind of creating a support group to find them placements within your community itself? Because I'm part of many groups and I keep sharing whatever jobs out there for anyone that can get value from it and be a good fit. Are you doing that? Because if you've got a great pool of HR people, you've got people from talent acquisition, you've got L&D, you've got all of the tenets of HR. Are you using that platform effectively to reach out to members?
Yeah, Helen, to large extent, yes, because the uniqueness of HR Shaper, it is a location-wise group, okay? So
Right.
In the COVID, it is really help a lot, okay? Other than the job I can share, I will come to the job as well. Because, if there is a location-specific HR setup people, then they keep asking, okay, what's happening in my city? When the notification coming? What government order is coming? Is it okay for HR to do this? What is it? So it really helped a lot, bigger than
Okay.
actually any other group I can say, because most of the group having a pool of people from many places, and you
Sure.
can't talk about one country, one location and all. That's one thing. Job on personally basis, I did lot of things. Okay, I keep publishing one file which is updated with the jobs. Okay, and that's circulated in all the groups. These are the jobs, guys, available, but only for HR.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So
only for HR.
that's ongoing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Excellent. So let's get Banka in. Ashish, Banka, would you want to let me know if that's a mandate within your group, and you're reaching out to CHROs and you're reaching out to lots of heads of departments. So I think Banka's on mute.
Yeah, so our group started, I will be happy to share. Yeah, so
30 seconds.
I got the inspiration from AG only before we started this group, because he was doing such a wonderful job in HR Shapers. And when I went back, I realized, there are a lot of other people who really need to be added. So our group does not have any limitations in terms of HR consultants or academics or professionals. We add everybody. We converted into a trust because a trust with a membership creates a strong fellowship, which is very important for any community. When we see so other forums, single person driving, so we have collective group of people coming together. The agenda which we want to bring, we are doing 2 unique things. One is that connecting with CHROs, so that the people in our group who have not been affected due to this pandemic can be helped either in learning or job spare. We are also touching down free knowledge sessions to all the academics institutions in India, wherever we are getting opportunity to bring in external people and give that free coaching to the Youngistan because they are the
Yeah,
future
but
leaders of
Ashish,
India. And
Ashish,
third
sorry to
important thing is
interrupt you.
that we are connecting with
My
CEOs.
my focus question is about, are you helping create jobs? Because a lot of people are being retrenched.
Yes. Yes. So what we
Knowledge
do,
sharing, you know, is knowledge sharing is extremely common, and there's tons out there. But I'm talking about the core issues that people face on a day-to-day basis. So how are you all touching upon that? Are you all giving that importance within the group?
Yes,
Especially now?
because we are giving that importance, we have also releasing weekly classifieds where we, one group member collect the job opportunities across the groups, collects and culminates in a newsletter form which we called Sampark Classifieds, and we release it every week so that people can get all the jobs at one place. See, job is something where everybody needs to culminate together. It cannot say that I can give you hand over the job. It's not like a 2-minute. But we are giving that support. You know, that support is very important.
Excellent.
And it feels so.
Excellent. I think that's great. Classifieds is very good. I think all groups must do that, so that everybody, not just HR jobs, it could be any job function, because there are so many, you know, people are hiring and people are firing. So it's a balance of both. I'm not sure which one. It's still, I think it's tilting more to people losing. But if there's help out there, you know, we can balance that scale. So fantastic. Thanks, Ashish, for that one valuable feedback. Let's bring in Radha. Radha, do you have initiatives? I know you're part of other HR groups. You're working with organizations as well. Sorry, I've just got, yeah. You're working with organizations, so unmute yourself and come in, Radha.
Actually, the issue with the layoffs and hirings, I would say something maybe positive for the HR community, but what I'm noticing that there is a trend that HR is on the under the spotlight these days. So I'm seeing lots of organizations in the region. I would say it's the Gulf, the Middle East. They are asking for HR specialists, highly qualified people, more than before. Yani, I noticed that the layoffs were not touching the HR as much as the others, but the need for highly qualified HR is growing. And that's really the golden time for the HR community to step up.
Absolutely.
To the need. So we need to really be up to the challenge. To help the organization survive and grow in this time is the most fundamental skill we need to have beside of anything else. So for us to really grow our community and to survive in this time and really live up to the challenge we are in, we need to be the business, not business partner in the terms of support and all of that. No, it's the ones who are supporting the organization in surviving and continuing. So true. I would say it's a positive time for HR beside all of the negativities around us, but we need to really live up to this challenge.
And I think you made a valid point there. Great time to hire, because you've got so many good people that have been laid off, especially the ones that get the highest salaries, but they're great HR minds. And, you know, one person's gain is another person's loss, right? So fantastic. Yeah. I think that's a great way to look at it as well, from a positive aspect of it. So let's bring in Emmanuel. Emmanuel, very quickly, can you tell me what are you all doing in Zimbabwe or across Africa?
Pardon?
Yeah, 30 seconds, Emmanuel. Take it away.
I didn't hear your question.
What are you all doing in terms of, there are lots of people that have lost jobs. As a group, as part of an HR group, you've got HR shapers, you're handling that group. So how are you supporting the community? Is that a mandate within your group rather than just knowledge sharing?
Yes, it is. But as I said, I am local here, but I also have a global foot. So I will touch on the local part and the global part. On the local part, it's very difficult because a lot of people that are being laid off, and being proactive enough, it is going also to be very difficult to rehire them, because those that are being laid off, they've ventured into entrepreneurship. Digitalization has made people survive on their own. Then on the global foot again, I'm also foreseeing a massive outflow of knowledge into other countries, because this side
Right.
Africa,
True.
in this side Africa, there are very few jobs. So a lot of people are going to go to other greener pastures, especially the
Right.
talent one. So
Yes,
there's going to be
that's
less
a
migration.
good opportunity. Good opportunity. But do you have people hiring as well in Zimbabwe? Are there companies that are hiring and using this to their advantage to get some great workforce in place?
Yes, I also, as part of my group, I also do recruitment. I've recruited
You
in Dubai.
you recently joined this company, so I think you're a great mind that the company gained. Fantastic, excellent.
So
Yeah.
the main issue is collaboration. We take every network as a net worth. We don't just network for networking, but as we network, we're also trying to find opportunities for our colleagues in the group.
Excellent. So we're just going to wrap it up with one final question, but I'm going to give 1 minute each to everybody. So we've got 10 minutes. We've actually overflown 10 minutes. We've got, so 1 more minute where you can just give me 2 initiatives that you would wish the corporate world would do to improve the HR function in general. Any 2 initiatives that a corporate world can do.
So I'll take that.
Yes,
First,
please. Go ahead. Take it away, Bankar.
It's a wish list. I will want the corporates. One is to allow and pulling together so that we can request the government to approve of gig economy, where one employee is not bonded by statutory complications and he can work for 4 hours as per his expertise in all the organizations without a full-time employee. That is one wish list. Second wish list is that corporates can create an outplacement model where they can support each other, that all industries, all people who are there can get jobs whenever they have a pandemic, and they support a fund where it supports the medical of all these employees, because the medical facility is top most priority for all employees. So these are the 2 things is a wish list. I will want the corporates to collaborate.
Valid points, fantastic points. I hope the corporations and all the participants that are listening, please take this home with you and drive it to your organization. Thanks, Pankaj. That's fantastic. Radha, do you want to step in?
Actually,
Radha, yes.
There's something I'm really looking forward to, which is having the HR stepping up. Lots of organizations in the region, the HR is under finance or under procurement or under, I don't know who else, which are not really related at all to our function. And I would say this is the problem of both HR and the organization themselves. But if HR people are really stepping up to the challenge, nobody will put them under other departments. So this is really my biggest issue and my biggest concern, that we really need to live up to this and move from the shadows of other departments and start adding real value. So I would say this is not an initiative for organization as much as it's a request from HR people to really be the role players they need to be inside organization and stop being under the shadows of others.
Fantastic, fantastic. Great points there. Let me bring in Darwin. Darwin, what about you?
Helen, if I would,
that you would like.
Helen, if I would have a wish list for the corporate world, that would be one is for companies to inculcate in their core values the people first before profit, and second would be to really genuinely invest in their people. Those, I believe, are the 2 things that would drive people to be happy at work, even at this crisis, even on this pandemic.
Sure, fantastic. Great points there. Let me bring in Dolphy. Dolphy, can you go in?
Yes, I think one of the important factors, yes, digitization. I think those companies which digitized, they survived much faster during this work from home. So I think one of my wish lists would be digitize everything so you can work from anywhere. You don't require to come to office. That's one thing. And the previous question, I wanted to give a very, very good initiative which Malaysia started. I think some around 20-25 consultants have come together and they formed a site. They are sending emails to everybody. Have you lost your job due to pandemic? We are here to support you, register here. So basically, I think they are trying to create that kind of a database, and then they will distribute that database to the entire corporates. And then they are basically not guaranteeing, but at least supporting people who have lost the job.
Right, fantastic. Wulan, do you want to take that?
Yes, so what I think that we really wants to see, because the changes of the organization is, again, I highlighted again that the HR should take the role as a business partner. I agree with Radha that yes, we are not under another department. We need to put the priority for the people who work with us. Agree also with Darwin on that. And the second part also, I agree with Dolphy that we need to make sure that do the digital transformation as soon as possible, because now that's the best way for us to survive in this situation. And also for the future, I think like everybody needs to focus on that transformation and digital part.
Excellent, excellent. Did I miss out anybody? Emmanuel, did you get a chance to?
Okay, I've got 4 things that I wish. Number
Four
one.
things. Wow. Go ahead. All yours.
Number one, I would like to wish to see HR who is technologically savvy. If I was going to fire someone, I would fire an HR who is not technologically savvy, because we can't talk about artificial intelligence when ourselves are not able to use technology. Number 2, judgmental in decision making. HR practitioners must be very good in making decisions. I would like to see HR rising up to general managers, to CEO of the companies. The reason why HR, some of them remain where they are, is because they are limited to operational. They don't have the strategic mindset to think and decide and make judgments. Number 3, I want to talk about emotional and social intelligence. You can't be an HR practitioner when you don't have a heart. You have to have a heart, you have to have empathy, you have to feel for other people. Number 4, this is the best for me, you have to be innovative and creative. HR has been left for a while being operational. Let's come up with new ideas, come up with new technology, come up with new everything. So I foresee a department, or I foresee an HR function that is creative and that is innovative, that thinks outside the box, neither removing the box to think.
Excellent, fantastic points raised by. No wonder you're a true global HR community leaders. You're doing an awesome job. So great takeaways there. Be proactive, have a heart, be empathetic. Amazing points. Thank you, every single one of you. Emmanuel, Wulan, Radha, Ashish Banka, Ashish Gakre, Dolphy,
Thank you.
Darwin. It's been a joy working with all of you towards the HRM Summit. Thank you so much for your contribution, your support. Great takeaways for our audience. I think you all should keep engaged in the chat room as well, because I'm sure there'll be lots of questions. Unfortunately, I am not able to field any questions. So if Shri can come in, if there are any questions in the chat room for the panel, if somebody can help me with that from the team.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. Honestly, I learned a lot about what's happening sitting in the Middle East, trying to see what's happening elsewhere, all over the world, from Africa to Indonesia to Jordan to Philippines, and of course to India. So it's fantastic learning for me personally. I just want to very quickly say thanks, first of all, to AG, AB, DR, DG, WR, ZRH. Thank you all very, very much. I think before we were about to close, I think AG wanted to say something. I think probably Helen did not see you on the screen. Would you like to say something, AG?
Yes.
Just give me a minute. Sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. My apologies. I did not bring in Rajesh. So Rajesh, I'm sorry. For some reason, I did not bring you in. So I'm going to give you a chance to talk about all of the issues that we discussed. Please, Rajesh, come in. My sincere apologies. I just realized from my notepad that I didn't call you in. So unmute yourself, Rajesh, and touch upon the areas that we talked about.
Rajesh disconnected.
Where is Rajesh?
Oh, he's not there?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Rajesh,
So thank
no
you.
longer there.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm trying to reach Rajesh to see if he can connect back. So give us a second. In the meantime, AG wanted to say something which
Go ahead.
We did not see. So go ahead, AG.
You're on mute, Ashish.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are 2 points I will sum up, So first of all, corporate and the leadership should give full freedom, full empowerment to HR. Okay, HR to do the HR work first. I heard the statement, not the people, I heard the statement when it is said, okay, HR should understand business, finance, marketing, sales, administration, but don't do HR. Understand everything, but don't do HR. Guys, if you know HR first, HR is a HR, so do HR, feel HR, understand, eat HR, drink HR. I'm sure you will understand automatically what is the business. Yeah, take care of the HR first, then get into something else. Okay. Second point is more important is we talk about the BCP. BCP has miserably failed in COVID, which is the business continuity plan. Okay, but HR should take care of the PCP, which is the people continuity plan, and that include everything. Whether you're working or not working, how to take care of the virtual workforce, what are the mental health, wellness, well-being and all. Last point, I would just say ki, we should take care of our employee as a human being. And this COVID has proven that, people are actually as a human being, we need to think about them as a human being so that you can understand the basic need of the people.
Thank you
Excellent.
very much.
We've got Rajesh back in. So Rajesh, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Rajesh, I'm awfully sorry. On my notepad, I was writing all the names and I omitted you. So I'm going to give you a good 5 minutes to touch upon all the topics we talked about. Give us your take on it, please.
No, sorry. I thought academicians are not so much welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm literally so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No issues, no issues. So
please go ahead. You've got your full 5 minutes. Go ahead.
From the academician's point of view, I would like to highlight once again that whatever we do, whether we talked about giving jobs, creating jobs, whether we talked about searching for new areas where the organization should work in, or whether we talked about how to be sensitive while we are kicking out people, downsizing in the euphemistic terms we say. But actually what we are doing is kicking out people for retaining the profit. I think all of these things we don't realize that human being is only 10% physical and logical. All other 90% of the human being is about emotions. Those of you who are married know that logic does not work when the situation turns emotional.
True.
And that's why all the husbands always cry about these things, because they try to fight emotions with logic and they almost always lose. That is the case with all human beings. We have to be very sensitive to emotions, and I think the HR fraternity in general has neglected this emotional part of the human beings for long. Whether we talk about strategic perspective or whether we talked about how to actually administrative perspective of the HR people, I thought that one thing which we are working on in IIM Ahmedabad with various faculty members and with all the organizations which we are part of is how you are managing fear of the organization. Just to give you an fear of the employees in the organization. Just to give you an example, out of 200 MSMEs which we interviewed and around 70 large hospitals which we interviewed, the people the employees which are coming back to the place even after migrating back to the workplace, they are not very enthusiastic about joining the workplace. And that is where there are two fears simultaneously. If they don't join, then they fear losing the job. And people from India would know that losing the job is not a very easy thing to handle in India, unlike in other countries.
Totally.
So one thing is, if I don't come to my job, I lose my job. If I come to job, I lose my health and I may lose my family member. So what should I do? This is a big dilemma, and we all know that dilemmas are not. So one of the organizations which I will tell you an example, we quote it as an example, is they have lot of cash and huge amount of balance sheet backup is there. So what they told those employees is that you have a guarantee from us that for 5 years, if we do no business, zero revenue, we will pay you salary from our reserves. And we have reserves. It's known because it is a listed company. So they came up with this very logical, very supportive sort of statement. But what happened? This should have satisfied most of the employees' concerns, but it did not. And that is where the leader, when we were talking to leaders, he said, see, this is not the only thing which they are worried about, that is, do I have a food and a salary? They are more worried about whether we are belonging to the organization or not. And this 5 years guarantee contract is not able to solve that. So what the leader did, and we learned a lot from that leader, is that he created videos of people who are suffering from COVID. So the thing started going backwards or going spirally downwards when two of the employees started suffering from symptoms related to COVID and they were tested positive. It's a large organization with around 500 people living in one premise. So what happened was, though the organization had a this value of family culture and we are all in it together, as soon as two people who got COVID, uh, the culture dissolved. Okay, so they were treated as ostracized, though the new facility was created for them. It was a hostel type of thing. You need not go home, and they were asymptomatic. That is where the leader chipped in, and he encouraged. He himself had to go and console these people that we are there with you. What they did one blanket insurance which covers COVID, but that was not enough. What they said is, even if you have us insured, what will happen if we have COVID? You will transfer us to a hospital. If we suffer some major symptoms, you will transfer us to a hospital and then leave us there to either to recover or to die. And these has been the phenomenon. I recently lost a colleague doctor in COVID yesterday. None of our family members or friends could go and visit that person. It's like when you are sent to the hospital, you are sent out with one-way ticket. If you are alive, you get a return ticket, otherwise you go from there. So this feeling is a very odd type of feeling. And what they said is, they have set up a team of doctors, one anesthetist, one pulmonologist, and one intensivist. The team of doctor will trace you wherever you are. They will be in touch with you even if you are sent to a hospital which is not in the premises of the organization, the higher, say, private or government hospital. Our team will be in touch with you continuously on WhatsApp, on Skype, on video call, and once in a 2-3 days they will come and visit the organization. So visit the hospital, so that to ensure that your treatment is going on fine. See, these are the things which none of them actually suffered from a symptoms which were severe so as to send the patient to the hospital. But this actually tied a cord with all the people, and they all were together in it. Another organization which I worked on, and this is one of the answers, I think. People in Jordan also believe in this, that downsizing is not the right thing to do. You can cut the salary, they will be accepting it. In fact, large IT organizations have said, if you are in bench, we will not pay you. You will get zero salary, but you will not be kicked out. Even that is better than in
Absolutely. That
downsizing. I think
assurance.
this is the sensitivity, and managing emotions is one of the most critical things which I am learning from many of these organizations, and which other organizations and HR leaders also should learn from these stories. I think we are we as HR community should compile these very sensitive stories where HR people and leaders have acted in a very sensitive way
share.
and to manage emotions. This is what will be useful for us in terms of learning about how to manage the emotional aspect of a person rather than just through logic.
Absolutely, and touch that chord. It's great. A great point there to share stories, success stories like these, which people can get empowered with and engage and adopt within their organizations and within themselves, to be mindful of people, to be empathetic and care about other people's emotional being. Fantastic, great points there, Rajesh. I'm again profusely sorry.
No issues, Helen. Don't
but
worry.
I'm sure we'll have much more of you. But I'm going to let you take the first question. As the blue-eyed boy of the panel discussion today, for having missed out on you, there's a question on the chat board. What does it need to be a what it needs to be a coach more than a leader to our people? Okay. Okay. Do you need to be a coach more than a leader to your people? That's a good point.
Yeah. So when we talk about coaching, what do we mean? I think more than a leader, I think it should be more of taking people along, mentoring support, which you should be providing for the employees. One thing is which we have seen across the countries, even in WHO, is flip-flop. Today they will say asymptomatic spreads, tomorrow they will say asymptomatic does not spread. I think this is what the mentoring aspect, the coaching aspect says, that at least open communication and taking people along the direction of say, because it's a dark alley, and how do you cross the dark alley when you are yourself in the dark? What they say in our context is, see, as HR people or leaders, are we afraid of COVID? Definitely we are. Are the employees afraid of COVID? Definitely they also are. So how do you actually save yourself? In Indian context, we say, if you solve other person's problem, then your problems automatically get solved. I think mentoring and taking people along is more important for the leaders and HR people themselves. And I think in this way, both employees as well as managers and leaders can cross this blind alley or dark tunnel together.
Fantastic, great points there. I would like Ashish Gakre to take another. I think the panel in general. There's a question here about HR VPs and CXOs. Now, how important is, you're all recruiting HR people. How important is a HR certification in your hiring process of a HR workforce? How important is an HR certification as opposed to an academic? Rajesh, I'll let you take that and then get views from the panel as well. So you're from the academy.
I think the importance of certificate is going to go downhill very soon, not only for HR, but all the fields where as soon as these MOOCs and online education things become very prominently prevalent across the world, the focus on certification, which is very crucial thing in India, is also going down. So I think skills more than certification will come up.
Good point there. Ashish Gakre, what about you? What is your take on?
Okay,
Ashish,
so yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
go
okay.
ahead.
So that's a great question, I think, because people don't have time to go to institute or sit for long hours. Maybe in terms of overall duration, what I mean to say, 6 months or 1 year, 2 year, right? It is going to be reduced, and the same time the course content is going to be reduced. So it's going to be very specific to your field only. It's not overall generalist, because end of the day you need to decide what you're going to get into. Like gig workforce will change entire model. What gig will say, okay, are you good into technology? Do the technology certification, come to me.
No, but Ashish, just to interrupt you, my question is, how important is an MBA HR, academic HR versus a professional certification introduced into the workforce? Employability, how important are these two certifications from an employment perspective?
Yeah, to be very frank, Helen, it's not recognized as the entry gate, the entry model. Okay, it's orthodox thought process still in the corporate. Ki guys, I need the MBA degree. Okay, it's going to take some time. Okay, but as of now, today 95% organization they say, okay, if there is one MBA guy, there is a one certification guy, I will take MBA guy. It will take some time to come out with this kind of phobia.
So it is important. So
It is important.
you're saying effectively it is important in the hiring process.
In the hiring process, because there are
okay.
Look at how people actually shortlist the resume. They see, okay, MBA degree certification can be done from anywhere. You don't know actually, right? Unless it is very reputed. Yeah.
But what you're effectively saying that it is important. So Banka, let me get your views on it, Banka. How important is it in the hiring process?
Most importantly, it is very important when we cannot ignore when we hire. Irrelevantly, whether we are in pandemic, non-pandemic, any situation, three things we generally see: knowledge, skill, and attitude, which we all have read in our books. So, most importantly, what I go back and say, as industry spearheads or industry, we have a higher responsibility to groom the youngistan so that they are expected. It's easily when we differentiate amongst the B schools, A, B, C. Are we doing enough and going a voluntary service to them, saying that, oh, you are here, if you learn this, you reach here and we can get you onboarded. So it's easy being a critic, but it takes a tough time to groom people and bring at an expected level. So if we take all, universally vouch and we all agree as HR practitioners, we'll go back and spend 2 hours of our daily to teach people or to teach students, to bring them an expected level and coach, mentor and lead them. I think that will add a greater value in the due course of time.
Right. Thank you. Radha, do you want to come in? In Jordan, is it important to have a certification, either academic or a professional certification, to be preferred as a hired?
Actually, the academic certification is more important than the general certification in Jordan. But in the Middle East in general, in the Gulf, the certification is very important in lots of hiring arenas. But I would say till the moment you have another way to differentiate skill and knowledge, there will be a focus on certification, and which is personally I'm not really a big fan of, because we should have a more hands-on way to differentiate between skilled and knowledgeable people than just a piece of paper, which is beside all of that, I respect this, I have it myself, but personally I would say with the change we are in, with the new way of being we are in, it's not the time for really to keep to remember policies and procedures and to be certified. I think we need way more than this. We need way more than human side of being a leader. But just one comment about coach or a leader. A coach is part of the leader, but the leader is not part of a coach. Not all of coaches are leaders, but leaders should be coaches, because it's one of the skill sets you need to have. So these are the things we need to look into, the people we are hiring and recruiting.
True. Thank you, Radha. Dolphy, do you want to come in and tell us something about in Indonesia? How is it? Is it important? Unmute yourself, Dolphy, very quickly.
Yes. I think what Ashish
30
said,
seconds.
I agree with you, because an MBA or an we call S1 or S2, S1 is graduation, S2 is post-graduation, is important. But when I select a particular role, that means like if I'm selecting a comp and ben, I would always go for a person with a special certification. Or if I'm looking for a recruiter, I would basically look a person who has a certification on assessments. So that will actually add an advantage to the person. So overall certifications will basically help a person to get a particular stream, then the either S1 or S2 or MBA would help you to get a job.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's all we have time for. We have stretched our time for 1 hour, 40 minutes. Thank you so much, everybody. Ashish Kakre, Ashish Banka, Rajesh Chandwani, Dolphy, Radha, Emmanuel.
I wanted to say something. So
Emmanuel, yes.
I wanted to say something on the issue of certificates this side in Africa. I think we can't separate the two, but obviously employers will prefer hiring those who know how rather than those who know what. It's very good to know the what part, but it's more important to know the how part. And the same of the coin again, we can't totally say we should not have certificates. Let's have them, but let's know the how part.
Sure.
If we have certificates and neglect the how part,
sorry, Emmanuel, I would have to wrap it up there. We've got our next panel speaker is waiting. Thank you so much, every single one of you. Rajesh, please thank Nidhi for me. She's been a great help. Banka, please thank Sushmita for me. Big shout out to them. Of course, a big shout out to all of you for being such a wonderful panel today. Take care and please get onto the chat. There are lots of questions in there. So please answer some of the questions that are in the chat room, please. I encourage all of you to do that. Thank you so much. And Rajesh, once again, apologies for missing you out.
No issues.
And
no issues.
I'm sure we have lots more of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay
Bye-bye.
healthy, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye, everybody.